Hey, you need to sit down. Wait, let me sit down. So I heard from a certain someone that you are lacking self-control. Whether this lack of self-control has to do with alcohol, nicotine, self-sabotage, overthinking, self-destructive tendencies, weed, coke, any drugs, anything. Whatever it is that you are struggling to be able to have self-control with, I have some advice and some insight that possibly can help you gain back your self-control and the ability to especially trust yourself. So first things first, I truly do want to understand you. I feel that I do understand in my heart what it's like to be addicted to things, lack the self-control to not take in certain actions and lacking the self-control to not lash out at others and things of that nature. I would love to hear your story down below in the comments of something that you struggled having control of in your life and one thing you'll do for yourself today to help out. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I have is to stop beating yourself up. It seems like being hard on yourself is the key, but it's actually really not, because then the guilt and the negative feelings of failure lead you right back to what's making you feel better. Lashing out, getting angry, drinking, smoking. So for me, how I quit nicotine recently, I think I went 7 days. I was able to go 7 days without touching nicotine. And I got drunk one night and I hit nicotine. Kind of my first reaction was to be upset at myself. I'm on this app for quitting addictions and I'm on the nicotine one. And, I've seen people on there saying like, yeah, you have to restart the entire timer and everything if you take just one hit. And I was like, well, screw that and screw that thinking. I'm not going to mentally think, oh, I messed up, because my first impulse when I just was like, oh, I fucked it up, I fucked everything up, was to go back to it and go buy a new one or to finish off that vape and be like, well, screw it and keep hitting it, And it was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's 7 days and I'm going to count tomorrow as 8 days, even though I took a hit today. And guess what? Now I'm at 2.5 months. But if I would have then beat myself up and been pissed at myself that I relapsed and I did all this and now I have to reset my timer and God, why did I fuck up? I would still be vaping right now. I would be vaping. Do not promise yourself anything, because once you promise yourself, oh, I'm never touching nicotine again. I'm never touching alcohol again. Now, if you do fail, you will become impressively depressed. The alternative to this that worked for me is to just see everything as a choice. So for example, if I relapse and I smoke nicotine, that is no one's fault but mine. I chose to do it. It was a choice. I chose to hit nicotine. And it's as simple as that. It was just a choice that I made. Are there consequences for that choice? Yeah, just like any choice. There is a consequence to every single choice. But do not look at it as this promise you broke, as this big scary thing. No, I just chose that I wanted to smoke nicotine, so I did. I chose that I wanted to drink alcohol, and I did. Did I wind up going too far and disappointing myself and everyone around me? Yes, but I chose that. I chose it. Because this brings the power back into your hands. Will I go out for drinks tonight? I really don't think that's best for my body or my mind, but I'm really craving it. Will I decide to go? Yeah, you know what? I decide that I am going to fulfill this craving instead of doing what I think is best for my body or mind. Versus, oh man, I really don't want to drink. I can't drink tonight. No, if I drink tonight, no, I can't, I won't, I refuse, but I really want to. It's the alcohol's fault. Oh, it's my addiction's fault. I wish I wasn't addicted to alcohol. When you contribute all of your actions to that outside source, to the addiction, to the alcohol, to the weed, to the nicotine, to the anything, to the, oh, my negative mindset, oh, my negative beliefs, oh, if this person wouldn't have backstabbed me, you are giving your power away, right? And even if that is true, even if, yeah, alcohol's addictive, Yeah, Coke is addictive. Yeah, all these things are addictive to some extent. Or yes, that person did mess you up. That person acted that way that made it to where now you can't trust anyone and you keep sabotaging your relationships, right? Yes, that is true. But when you give your power away to those situations by saying, oh, it's all their fault, all them, and constantly blaming them, now the only person that can change you is them. The only person that can fix your addiction is the addiction itself. Alcohol just needs to be less addictive. Alcohol just needs to be less addictive for me. Weed has to stop chilling me out. Nicotine needs to stop making me feel better when I'm stressed out. And that's what needs to happen in order for you to quit like you want to, in order for you to have the self-control to say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to act out. I'm not going to this, that, or the other. So take back your power and accept the fact that you are choosing to relapse, that you are choosing to fight back, that you are choosing to sabotage your relationships, that you are choosing to argue when you know you shouldn't. It's a choice, and that's okay. You're learning, you're understanding, you're learning how to make better choices. You may still make choices you don't want right now, choices that you don't think are the best for you, but that's okay. That's okay. You're going to learn. I accept myself. I accept myself yesterday. I accept myself today. I accept myself when I drank last night. I accept myself when I smoked weed last night. I accept myself when I hit nicotine an hour ago. And accept how you are while you even are lacking the self-control. I accept myself even when I'm sabotaging my relationships with my loved ones. I still accept myself, even to the point of loving myself. That version of me in those moments is just as beautiful as I am now, reflecting and looking back. I gave my negative thoughts all of the power by saying to them, oh, I can't control you. Oh, I'm sorry I screamed at you again and didn't trust you and freaked out on you. It's just, my thoughts, my mind, I can't control it. I gave nicotine all my power because I thought that I couldn't handle stress without it. I gave alcohol all my power because I thought I couldn't be open and fun without it. You can feel and be anything without this. I promise. Am I completely healed? Absolutely not. Yes, I quit nicotine. Yes, I have a better handle on my negative thought patterns. Yes, I drink alcohol much less, but I'm not completely healed. It's all a process. My last piece of advice that is the absolute most important in my eyes: establish trust with yourself. Learn to trust yourself. Every single day, there needs to be at least one or more or a bunch of things that you decide to do. I'm gonna do this, and you do it. And you kind of work out the muscle of self-trust. The biggest thing that has helped me, two things. One is the cold plunge, because I always struggled with trusting myself. Chances are, if you're watching this, you also struggle with self-trust. And for me, I'm kind of training my mind each time I go into the cold plunge that when I say jump, I jump. When I tell myself, now, get in, I get in right then. Because otherwise I like to stall and sit there and think about it till it feels good, and then it's like, okay, now I jump. And it's a slow process. But now it's like, get in 3, 2, 1, go. And I just go. I make my body listen. And that has been like working out and exercising the self-trust muscle in my brain, right? And if you struggle with alcohol, and you can apply this to probably anything else if it's something more so like addictive that you're trying not to do. When I do decide I want to drink, if I'm going to drink in a day, I set myself a limit beforehand. For example, the other day, I gave myself a limit of 3 drinks, and all I drank was 3 drinks, because a big part of me, of what I was struggling with, was when I would drink a little bit, doesn't matter how little it was, as soon as I started drinking, I would keep going until I was sick or until I was like passing out, you know? And obviously that's a horrible feeling, and that's always when stuff gets messy, right? So I give myself a limit each time before I drink. Even when I'm going to Vegas this summer, that's what it's going to be each night. Limit myself. 3 drinks today. Maybe 5 drinks one day, but that's going to be a messy day. But at least then I can plan for it. At least then I'm choosing to have a messy day. You know what I mean? I'm always choosing how much I want to intake. And, you know, I don't know how it would apply to someone that maybe wants to quit smoking weed, or how it would apply to someone who's quitting vaping, you know. They're all very different drugs, you know, and I know a lot of people would disagree about weed being addictive, but anything can be addictive. I've seen people addicted to weed, like my own sister. She couldn't eat without it. She couldn't go throughout her day. She always was like just like a walking like high zombie. And if she didn't have weed, she was like panic attack. And that's obviously a reliance on it. So, you know, if you find yourself in a situation like that where you just always have to be high, like you literally can't eat if you're not high, maybe you can use like limiting yourself a little, you know. But yeah, so establishing this trust within yourself, honestly, is probably the #1 way to be able to actually control yourself. Because how can you control yourself if you can't trust yourself? If you have no power? You won't. You can't. You won't be able to. I think that's probably the biggest part of all of this, really, is I trust myself, and I trust that every action I take is in my best interest. And if the action I take is to drink, then you know what? Okay, I chose that. I trust myself. I felt like that was the best thing to do in that moment, whether it be for my mood, for my stress levels, for fun, whatever. I made that choice, and I trust that it was a good choice. And if I feel like shit the next day and I kind of feel a bit of regret, it's like, okay, I will keep that in mind for the next time I make a decision. The next time I'm thinking of if I should drink or not, I'll keep that in mind. But I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm not going to sit there and regret and be like, oh no, I fucked it up again. How could I? And really get into those low, depressive, like self-hatred emotions, because what is that doing for me? I do not grow from self-hatred or being hard on myself. I grow through love. I grow through loving myself and wanting myself to do better, not wanting myself to die because I did bad. Hopefully this could help you at least a little bit. I'm obviously no expert in this. There are a lot of people in my life that are still struggling with self-control, with addiction, with anger issues, things of that nature. And yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty normal thing for me. I lost my stepbrother to addiction a couple years ago, and you know, I don't know. I don't really know what that was like for him. I didn't even know he was going through it. So if you are really truly struggling with this, and it's, you know, not as simple as it was for me, and just establishing this trust with yourself, if it's actually a really deep, horrible need for something, please let your loved ones know. Because I would have loved to know that my stepbrother was going through that. I would have. His dad didn't know. So my stepdad, he didn't know. My mom didn't know. None of my siblings knew, except my other stepbrother, who was going through the same thing. No one knew. No one even had a chance to help. So if you really, really are struggling, just talk to your family. Talk to someone. Talk to your friends. Talk to people, even if you think they can't help you. Even if you know they can't help you. They would have wanted to know. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy this video and you found something useful within it. I try to post videos every Friday. This one is going to be coming out on a Saturday because I'm recording it on Friday right now. And I'm going out for dinner for my boyfriend's younger brother. So this is going to come out a day later. But yeah, please comment down below any stories you have of what you've went through, what you're going through, what's helped you, and maybe any type of help that you've sought that has made a difference in your life, or any loved ones that you've also seen struggle with these things. I love you and I wish the best for you.